Hi, Eric here from Home and Decor, and we are joined by Mr. Melvyn Kanny. So, to start off this interview, maybe you can introduce yourself, what you do, and your background and etc.
Hi, I've been practicing architecture for over 30 years, and generally we specialize in residential projects, more boutique size rather than mass housing, especially individualized houses. So that's our main specialty, I would say.
So, I see. So, can you give us a glimpse into like the life of an architect? Like, like how is it? Is it challenging? Like, what are the challenges you faced?
The life of an architect. How do I begin? Do we have a life?
Oh,
I don't know.
That's a question.
It's a very, very broad aspect, working life, because you've got the design side or the creative side. You've got the management side, because you've got to manage your clients, you've got to manage your staff, and then you've got the legislation side. You've got to manage the authorities, meet the requirements. So it's a very broad aspect, and I think the most difficult thing about most architects go through is whatever we design is all that's in our heads, and we come up with a design. We spend a lot of time working on a design. Quite often, clients may not like it, or they have their own ideas. So it starts back to a drawing board, and then we go through a whole cycle, and another cycle, and another cycle, until we come with the final product that is both manageable or both parties are sort of happy. There can never be a product where only one side is happy. So you've got to find the balance.
So a good compromise.
So I don't like to use the word compromise, because I think we shouldn't compromise in anything, not even in design, but just finding middle ground where we both can live with the final product.
So when you go about, say, designing a building per se, where do you find your inspiration? How's the process of it?
Inspiration comes from many forms. Quite often, it's the site, the location, the brief by the client, and even the personality of the client. Right? We take all that into consideration, and it's a long process before we come up with the final product. So there's no specific idea or inspiration that you can pick up from. It just doesn't come from the air. It takes time.
Time to marinate it.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's a bit like cooking and coming up with the best recipe for something, right?
Yeah.
So it's very similar to that.
Can you share with us any recent projects or notable ones that has impacted you, that you think is notable?
We always find our best projects done for individual clients, individual houses, simply because when you compare with a development, there are a lot of other restrictions, like especially cost and market-driven ideas by the client, which is very limiting to an architect. So our best projects have always been individual clients, and especially clients who've got an open mind, and who've not got a fixed set of ideas in terms of what they want. We always do our best work for clients like that. Yeah.
How do you skirt around the more demanding clients per se?
It's not easy.
It's opening a can of worms.
We have all kinds of clients, very demanding ones and ones that are not so demanding. We are okay with clients who are demanding, but be demanding for the right reasons. Sometimes they are demanding for the wrong reasons, meaning that they are influenced so much by what people tell them, or the latest hotels they've been to, latest resorts they've been to, and they I want that in my house, when it's not right, it's not suitable.
Yeah.
And you can't just tell them, no, you're talking nonsense. You've got to cajole them and slowly try to bring them to your point of view. Right? So that's why doing individual house is a very lengthy process. It takes a lot of time and patience, especially.
So, in every industry, there's always trend. So, what is the current trend that is in architecture? Be it eco-friendliness or something like that?
I don't believe in trends. I never have. I think trends are some things that will come and go. If you look especially at commercial designs, hotel designs, very much based on trends, and that's why every 5-10 years you've got a refurbish and come up with a totally new concept. If we look at houses, especially houses where you're going to spend most of your life in, we like to look at it as more something that's timeless, right? So trends are an absolute no-no. I don't think when you mentioned about green architecture or sustainable architecture, whether that's a trend, it's not a trend. It's something that is going to be very much part and parcel of design and construction, especially in the coming future.
So sorry, this is getting my mind. So, what's your opinion on Malaysian architecture versus the international scene? How do we distinct ourselves in terms of like how building design, etc.?
I think Malaysian style architecture has been very strong, and of course we are also influenced by international architecture, but we have our own kind of architecture that's unique because of our tropical environment. A lot of our local architects use local materials and local artisans in producing the artworks and the particular details of the house or the building, right? So I think we have our own unique style. Right? We're not so much influenced by international architecture, and I think every country should have its own unique style that blends with the climate, the culture, and the way of living of that particular country.
So when you're designing like a building per se, how do you balance out aesthetics with practicality?
Good question. There's always a difficult one. You know, when you are aesthetically driven, you tend to forget about the practical aspects of it. When you're practically driven, then you forget about the aesthetics of it. So it's a very, very fine-tuned balance, right? As designers, we are always trying to come up with new ideas and new ways of doing things. But at the same time, the practical aspect of it has to be carefully considered. If not, your design will only last for a short while before there are problems that will come in the future.
So, last question before we wrap up. What advice can you give homeowners, or what advice can you give for them to achieve a dream house per se, what to look out for, etc.?
I think first of all, they need to identify what is it that they like, because a lot of people come with a blank canvas, right? And they leave it to the architects, which is fine. But along the way, they get influenced by other ideas, and then they get distracted, and they lose the whole original idea or concept. So I think it's very important that they first ask themselves the question: what is it that defines a dream home to them? Because everyone is different. You know, your dream home might be different from mine, right? So that's the first thing that they need to do. Once they have that idea, or in terms of what they want, then the next thing is to find the right architect or right designer. Different architects and different designers have different styles. So what suits what you are looking for, that's very, very important. And finding the right designer and finding the right architect who can hopefully make your dream come true in terms of your dream home.
All right. It's very fascinating, and thank you so much for joining us here at Home Deck. And